guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alya if you're new here. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be doing a clean girl makeup look. Now, I've seen like a few people do this and I feel like everyone's take on it is a little bit different. Now this doesn't like mean that if you don't do your makeup like this, you're a dirty girl. I think it just means like kind of like an effortless, you know, like fresh, glowy, kind of like daytime makeup look is like my take on it. It's not necessarily like a no makeup look. Again, like I feel like it's kind of just all up to like personal view on it. I don't really know. So I'm just gonna do like my take on it, which is gonna be kind of like a nice, just like, you know, fresh, dewy, glowy daytime look. So if that sounds good to you, then please keep watching. I've got a bunch of different products here. A few of these I've never even used on camera yet, so I'm pretty excited about that. I think the first thing we're gonna do is just, you know, start where you normally start with primer. I already did my skincare, so that's out of the way. I won't bore you guys with all of that. I think the primer that I'm going to go for today is by Juice Beauty, and this is their Phyto Pigments Illuminating Primer. And I like this one because it just kind of has like a pearlescent sort of look to it. It doesn't have like pieces of glitter in it. So I was going to use my Charlotte Tilbury one. It's like the glowy, I forget what it's called. But that one has like actual flecks of gold glitter. And I was like, I don't know, that's a little bit too much. So I think this one will do the job just fine. And then I think for foundation, I'm actually going to be using a BB cream that I have not used on this channel before, but that I love. And that is by Purito. This is their Cica Clearing BB Cream. Kika? C-I-C-A? I don't know. This is in the shade number 21, Light Beige. Now, when you take this out, it looks like almost like it has sort of like a gray ashy tint to it. So when I first got it, I was a little afraid that I was going to look gray. It doesn't blend out gray, and it gives like a really nice dewy kind of finish. So I'm just gonna go ahead now and put that everywhere, and I'm gonna blend it out with a beauty sponge. See, it looks really like dark and gray when you put it on, but it blends out nicely. So hopefully it'll match my neck. If not, we'll just have to bring it down the neck. Because, you know, I'm sort of in between self-tanning days. Like, I haven't done any self-tanning this week. And I go through phases where I just, like, am too lazy to do it because I'm not leaving my house, really. But now that society is going back to normal in Ireland, I guess I'm going to have to probably start, you know, looking human again. This is so pretty. I love this BB cream. It's just so like natural looking. Like, do you just see how fresh and natural that looks? It just looks like I'm not wearing any makeup and I just have, you know, nice, healthy, glowy skin. So that is, in my opinion, the look that I'm going for. It does have a bit of like a peachy undertone to it, which is fine. Like, if I'm actually like properly tan, it kind of just blends nicer in with my tan. But it does have more of a pinky undertone, and my undertones are more neutral. Could even lean a little bit more yellow. I definitely don't have peachy undertones, but it's fine. It's really not that noticeable. So next I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm going to use my L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Concealer. Love this stuff. If you watched my last video, you would see that I compared it to the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and they're very, very similar. This one blends out to be like a really nice, dewy, natural looking finish. It's not a super heavy, it's definitely not a high coverage concealer at all, but that's what I like. And usually I'll do like 2 layers of this, but because we are doing more of like, just like an effortless look, I'm just gonna leave it at the 1 because it still does give you some coverage. It's just not gonna be full coverage. I feel like already that's looking really good. I'm happy with how the base is coming along. Now, I think before we get too much further into it, I'm going to go ahead and set my face, and I'm going to be using my new e.l.f. Glow Halo Setting Powder, and I believe this is in the shade, yes, this is in the shade medium. So I realize now I'm kind of light, so I don't know how that's going to work. No, I actually think it should be fine. we're good. And I like that it's got like the, you know, the radiance to it, so it doesn't take away from like the dewiness of the BB cream. But it'll still keep it, you know, in place all day, which is what we want. So I'm gonna move into bronzer. I'm not gonna like really contour or anything because that's just, in my opinion, too much for like a daytime. But I'm gonna go in with my Bare Face Cosmetics new bronzer. If you watched my last video, you would have seen me compare this to the Bare Minerals just for half the price. This is in the shade Medium Copper. This has SPF 15 in it. And this is such a pretty, like, glowy, coppery bronzer. Like, it definitely has a sheen to it. It doesn't have glitter or anything like that, but it definitely has that nice sheen. This one I find is a little bit easier to work with, actually, than the Bare Minerals. It doesn't go on as strong and heavy. And it's really, really blendable. Like, the formula is just so nice with this. And then I'm just going to go back in with my Beauty Blender and kind of just, like, press that all in. Make sure there's no, like, harsh lines or anything. And it looks nice and blended. Next, I'm going to go in with this Catrice blush. Now, this is their Cheek Lover Oil Infused Blended Blush. And this is in the shade Blooming Hibiscus. And this is such a pretty blush. Like, I compared this in my last video to the NARS Orgasm blush. And, like, look at that sheen. It is just so pretty. And it doesn't have, like, any actual, like, glitter in it. It's got this, like, pretty gold, kind of, like, blended. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just beautiful. You'll see in a second. And a little bit goes a long way with this. This is so affordable. I think it's only, like, $7. And I'm really going to focus that kind of on the outer part to give, like, that more, like, lifted appearance, and then bring it, like, whatever's left down onto the apples of the cheeks. And then on the nose, a little bit in the center of the forehead. Give that appearance that, you know, we went on a tropical vacation, but we really didn't leave the house. Think smart, not hard. And we're looking very nice and, like, glowy and radiant, but I still have a highlighter that I want to do. Now, it's not the standard highlighter you'd expect. This is a stick highlighter. It's actually the Ciate Dewy Stick. You've seen me use this like a million times. This is in the shade Glow, which is basically just like a clear shade, if you will. And I just like to put this in all the places you'd normally want to highlight anyway. And this works fine on top of powder, so you don't really have to worry about that. And you just kind of like dab it. And then I like to just pat it in. And it gives like a really nice natural sort of like radiance. Like, I really just love that nice like dewy look. It's just keeping like the glass skin glossy vibe going. So now we're going to move into eyebrows, and I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm just going to brush them back. Maybe fill some of the sparse areas with my NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen, but nothing too crazy. Like, I want them to still be natural and fluffy. I don't want them to look, you know, like super glam eyebrows. So we're just gonna, you know, not do a whole lot. So that's pretty much that for the brow tint, and then I'm just going to comb them one more time, and we are going to set them in place with a tinted brow, kind of like mascara gel. It actually holds them in place, in my opinion, a lot better than like any of the clear brow gels I've tried in the past. So I'm just going to stick with that. It's my tried and true. You guys probably already know what one that is, but it is the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. Can't get enough of this. It's the best thing in the entire world. I'm not sure what shade this one is. Oh, deep brown. case you were wondering. So we're gonna leave those like that, keep them, you know, nice and fluffy, natural, effortless. And I'm gonna zoom you guys in now so we can do eyes. Okay, well, let's do some eyes. I'm gonna use my Revolution Basic Mattes palette, and that just looks like this. So we have all of these really pretty shades in here. And I think I'm just gonna keep it kind of like neutral, bronzy, because I don't really want to do like a bunch of crazy eyeshadow. I just kind of want it to look really natural. So actually scrap that. I think I'm going to use a real bronzer to do my eyes, so I'll be back in like 2.5 seconds to grab the bronzer that I want. Okay, I'm back. So I'm using this bronzer. It's by the brand called Natural Collection, which I haven't heard of other than like in the Boots stores here. This is a powder bronzer in the shade Golden Glow, and this is what she looks like. Pretty. It's kind of like a medium bronzer. So I'm just gonna put that like in the crease of my eyes, just to make them look, you know, more awake and open. This is like a really nice technique because if you are using a bronzer already, it kind of just ties into that and it just looks really natural. It kind of just looks like, you know, your eyelid. But it also adds some dimension and depth and makes you look more awake. And then I'm just going to take that same bronzer and put it right under the eye. And then I find that like doing just a teeny little wing, kind of like dragging out the look of your lash line, helps a little bit. Nothing like crazy, like I'm not gonna go ham with it. Just ever so slightly, like, and it doesn't even make a huge difference, honestly. It just kind of makes your eyes look a tiny bit longer. It's like the world's tiniest wing. And again, this is also a step you don't have to do. I just like to take a brown liner and tightline my upper waterline. I just feel like that makes my lash line look darker, so when I put on mascara, it kind of like gives a little more emphasis to the eye area. So I'm just gonna do that really quick. I don't really have a good way of doing that other than like pulling my eyelid up. So I'm just gonna kind of like not be in the frame when I do it. So apologies for that. So like I said, it doesn't make a huge difference. You can skip that step if you want to. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a pop of highlight to my inner corners. And this is my Revolution Beauty highlight in the shade Just My Type. And then I'm going to take that same highlight and just kind of bring it up and under the brow bone a little bit. Now we're going to jump into mascara, and I'm going to be using my Maybelline Sky High mascara, which to me is a great dupe for the Benefit Bad Gal Bang. It's just a little easier to work with and it comes off a little easier, so, and it's affordable. And the trick with this is just to go with a nice light hand and kind of like build it up so that it looks natural and not super clumpy. The good thing about Maybelline mascaras is I've never found one that clumps, so they know what they're doing. Alright, so I think we're looking pretty good on the eyes. They're very like long and flowy and like fluttery, but very like lightweight, which is kind of what you want, at least in my opinion, for this look and for like a daytime look. You don't want your lashes to look like insane glam during the day. So yeah, I just think a natural look during the day is definitely, you know, superior, in my opinion. Lastly, let's move on into lips. For lips, I'm going to be lining them with my NYX lip pencil in the shade Ever. My favorite. I just had to buy a new one actually because I had two backup ones and I lost them both. Like I swear, I bring these everywhere and I'm always losing them. They just fall out of my purse. And for this look, I feel like it's good to use a lip liner, like a shade or two darker than your natural lip color, for that more like natural plump effect. And then I'm going to take this Burt's Bees chapstick in the shade Rose and just put that everywhere, you know, hydrate the lips a little bit, help blend that color out. And then the last and final step is a lip oil. And this is the Clarins lip oil in the shade Candy. I love this. It just smells amazing. It literally smells like candy. And lip oils are just so in right now. I've liked them for a really long time, but they're definitely making a comeback. Okay, so this is my take on the clean girl makeup look, or aesthetic, I guess you could say. I really like how it came out. I think it looks really like natural and glowy, but still juicy. And you still have like enough nice color to your face that it's not like a no makeup look, but it's like pretty close to it. So if you're a girl that likes the no makeup look but feels like you need a little bit more coverage, I think this might be the look for you. As always, everything I discussed or showed today will be linked down below in the description box, as well as any other links, any discount codes I have, socials, all of that, my Amazon storefront, anything you could ever need for me down here. And don't forget to please give this video a thumbs up on your way out. It really helps me with the algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching.